What's going on? I got other folks going to join here shortly, but for now, you just get a bunch of me. Roll Tide, y'all. Roll Tide, Cat. Roll Tide, Keith. I got Jeff in here. Pop in here, Jeff.
Woo!
Too close to
Roll Tide, man. I'll take a
Tide.
win, man. That sure wasn't easy. Should have
Hey,
been,
man.
but it sure wasn't.
I got something I want to tell you.
What's up?
Kalen DeBoer just beat Kirby Smart. The Dynasty officially continues. You guys get in here, get in the chat. Tell us what you think. What are your thoughts on the game? Let me get this banner off the screen. What's up, Bill? Welcome to the party. Roll Tide, guys. Before we jump too far into anything, you guys know the deal. Share, like, hit the little heart button a bunch. We need that. My voice is almost gone from screaming, but I'm okay with that. Roll
I had a
Tide,
few
Tim.
screams in there. I had a few screams in there. What's up, Cat? What's up, Keith?
Yeah,
Tim?
I hear it.
What's up, y'all?
I heard Jeff from across the city.
Yeah, I believe it. I'm surprised y'all didn't hear me all the way down here in Florida, man. That's
there
Adrian
was a lot
Brown
of
pick down there.
Man,
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. That last pick, I was convinced we were losing that game
I was too. There at the
when
end.
we muffed that
thought it was gonna
kickoff
go overtime.
inexplicably. How we inexplicably muffed that kickoff, I was like, that's it. The gods have spoken.
Tim, tell everybody you see at the game, out there on the strip, on the quad. Show them your phone. Be like, hey, lock in with these dudes. Tell them.
I mean,
You're our official Waaaay Offsides agent tonight. We got 74 people in here already.
I mean, that's
and they want to talk some ball. So, Jeff, I'm going to let you start off if you don't mind. Just what were your initial thoughts of the game, and what did you like? Let's start there. Let's start with what we like. Let's start on a positive note.
all right. I liked the start. Normally, we're notoriously slow starters. I loved the opening drive, down, score, stop, ball, get the ball, go back down, score. You know, just keep scoring. I liked how we got out of the box early.
Right.
I thought that was very important. I thought the defense was every bit as advertised, as good as they can be in that first half.
Yeah, I want to talk about that defense here in a second.
I thought we played fast. We got pressure on Beck. Beck looked like the Beck you described when you get pressure on him. That's what he looked like. in the first half.
And that changed in the second half, I think, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but when Jefferson went out of the game, we stopped getting pressure on Beck altogether. And anybody that's paid attention to us for a long time, anytime I've talked about Georgia and Carson Beck, I've been pretty preachy about you get pressure on the guy and he's very inaccurate, and he was last year. And that's what we were doing in the first half. And we had to, I don't know if it was because of the Jefferson injury or what it was, but we backed off of it in the second half and just, he started getting time. And then you combine that with the fact that the offense couldn't sustain a drive. The defense got gassed and then got gashed. But that's okay because the end result was exactly what we wanted. And Alabama ultimately looked impressive. Georgia's not a scrub. So for me, What I liked was they found a way to win the game when it mattered most.
They did.
But Jalen Milroe, there's been a lot of talk about him during the offseason not being a real quarterback, being a running back only, this, that, blah, blah, blah. He showed that he can play the quarterback position, and he can play it well.
Very well.
He's got to be the Heisman
completion.
Front runner. Say it again, Bill.
82% completion.
What was his
27 of 33, 374 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns in the air, another 117 on the ground, and 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, this is true, Max. Yeah, that's a great point.
He accounted for almost 500 yards and 4 touchdowns.
That's wild. Yeah, if he's not your Heisman front runner going into week 5, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Or is this
he did everything? The only thing he didn't do was return kicks.
Yeah,
he'd almost be 100% lock if he didn't vanish for a quarter and a half of play tonight. I
don't think it's on him.
That was coaching.
I don't think it's on Milroe.
I was sitting there at halftime. I'm thinking
there were several bad throws and odd decisions, but
maybe. I mean, I will say there were a couple of reads where it's kind of an option read where he kept the ball and he probably shouldn't have.
Michael, your score is wrong on the banner. It's all right.
Oh, you want to fix that for me? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'll fix it.
I'm tired.
Yeah, we won by 7.
Stop giving Georgia more points than they deserve.
We won by 7.
Man.
But when it was time for Milroe to perform, he finds Hollywood.
Yeah.
And by the way, that young man had 6 catches for 177 yards.
And what, 1 touchdown?
That last touchdown.
1 touchdown. But that last one, he was freaking people out. They didn't know what to do.
Look, man, I mean, it got really sloppy towards the end defensively.
We got so conservative, I felt like.
We did, coaching.
Well, all right, so you got to look at teaching points. What are your teaching points after a game? Tonight's teaching points are for the coaches. You never take your foot off the gas. The players did everything that was asked of them. Yeah. These coaches now understand big boy football in the SEC. You don't pad a lead and sit on it.
Well said.
You get on. You get a lead and you keep that lead.
Yeah, I think the motto, the motto moving forward is finish. And by finish, it's exactly what you just said, Bill. You don't take your foot off the gas no matter what, because teams, I mean, Alabama's still got to play some good teams who can score very fast. And they did get comfortable. And I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to control the clock a little more, bleed some time. And ultimately, that's what won them the game. But they got too conservative.
Respect your opponent. I mean, it is a coaching unwritten rule. You don't embarrass an opponent that you might have to play later. Got it. But what they learned tonight, coming from the West Coast to the Southeastern Conference, is you don't ever let the guy off the mat, because when he gets off the mat, he's got punches too.
Especially not Georgia either.
Yeah, especially not Georgia.
I mean, that one drive they had, it took them 15 plays just across midfield. Yeah. And every drive after that, they scored in less than 40 seconds. I felt like it was boom,
you
bang,
feel
boom,
it.
Tud. Yeah, boom, boom, tud.
They started
coverage.
Started getting better protection, and our guys were playing real soft coverage, and we only blitzed about 3 times the whole night. We didn't need to in the first half, but we should have played with that same aggressiveness in the third quarter.
Max is dead on right here.
Crushed their throat.
Agreed, Bill.
Yeah, let's get to some comments. Yes. I want to see what our viewers are thinking.
Yes, I'm totally
be sure to tell us. Like, don't be shy. Get in here in this comment section. Let us know what you think.
The text line too. They were snapping the ball with 20 seconds left on the play clock. I'm like losing my mind.
I know you sent the text. I saw.
I'm on my knees on my back porch. Like, what are we doing?
I saw the text. Bama is still the standard. Absolutely. Bama's still Bama. That's why I titled this live the way I did. I mean, I said earlier in the week that if Kalen DeBoer beats Kirby Smart this week, that it's a clear indication that the dynasty is going to continue. Like, you can't argue that anymore.
Absolutely.
Trolls and opposing fan bases will say it, but Alabama picked up right where they left off under Kalen DeBoer, and that's got to leave a nasty take. Can you imagine being an Auburn fan today, having a hate?
And what we did was
Bill died.
What Kalen did today was not only was it show we're not going to lay down and get run over, but we're going to light the scoreboard up. In prior years, we might have slowed down to the point of losing that game.
Bill's internet.
Bill's freeze frame was with his finger in his nose. That was great.
Good stuff. That's. Are
you on a 56-bit modem tonight, Bill? Like, where are you recording this from?
Right.
Yeah. Are you in your basement? Jesus, drop them.
My modem's slow.
Okay. All right. Well, if you get too bad, Jeff might kick you.
This is great.
Roll Tide. Look, it's okay. We all have our coping mechanisms. Mine is just once it gets to a certain point, I just give up. And Jeff got to see that for the first time tonight.
I actually wrote us off a couple of times tonight. That's not like
I did. Now, you know what? I appreciate that, Jeff, because these guys give me hell for it. But it's nice to see somebody else that's like, look, at halftime. At halftime, I was on the phone with John and Jay Will, two buddies of ours, and we're talking about, and I'm like, we got to keep scoring points, man. And Jay Will's like, no, I think we're okay. And John's like, no, we got this. I'm like, no, dude, we got to keep scoring points. And it was just so frustrating because as a fan, you're watching that, and you're just like, how do the coaches not know that? And I'm not a college football coach. I don't think I have a higher football IQ than any of these guys, but it just seems so obvious. Like, you can't let up. And they definitely did. It was super frustrating, but to some of our watchers, to their points, like Tim right here, you got to stay on the pedal, man. Stop being conservative. I think that's going to be the big lesson from this, because if Alabama continued to do what they did, give Georgia credit. They made really good adjustments in that second half. We didn't help them out or help ourselves out any, but they made, Georgia's a second half team. That's how they play. And kudos to them for not, backing out. That's a championship mentality that team has, but that's going to serve Alabama better when they go on the road to Tennessee and go to Oklahoma. Who else? Who we got? When they host Auburn, they got to Baton Rouge. One of the big ones is down, guys. One of the ones where we've been like, hey, look, Bama can make the playoff with 2 losses. And if I said
that's right,
preseason, if they gotta lose to somebody, it's going to be Georgia and Tennessee, and one of those is now a check mark in Alabama's favor. Yep. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
Yep.
The good thing is there's a bunch of coachable moments to come out of this. A big win like this, big lead like that, racking up 550 plus yards, but you can go back tomorrow during film and find a ton.
Roll Tide, Marty. DeBoer, you're right. It's not a fluke. He's done it at every level, and a lot of people question whether he'd be able to do it in the SEC, and he just proved that he can. Like it or not, people may not like what I'm about to say, but Kirby Smart is the best coach in college football right now, the best active coach in college football. But now you have to question if DeBoer goes and wins a natty, is that true? And I mean, he just beat the best coach in college football. I hope we don't play Georgia again. We're going to likely, but
I'm going to have to see them again, I'm afraid.
Yeah. But that team in that first half, and this has irked me. When we went to the Western Kentucky game, we talked about what we wanted to see, and I said consistency. This has irked me because for 3 seasons, from quarter to quarter, you don't get the same Alabama team, and that's really frustrating. Whether it would be the pressure that we got at the beginning of the game, where that just dropped off in the second half of the game. Offensively, the play calling was really questionable in the second half. I think they were maybe just, like I said, just trying to run some clock, but it almost bit them in the ass.
Yeah, we did. Have you ever seen a game where
here's a cool stat.
Was 0 for 11 or 0 for 12 and fourth down they were like 6 for 6?
So I have a theory about that. Typically when somebody goes for it on fourth down, it's the odds are in their favor to pick it up. You're not going to go for a fourth down unless you have to, or the analytics say it's in your best interest to go get it. But you combine that and that, especially in the second half, where we started doing what we used to do, going three and out, keeping that defense on the field. You saw it, and players started dropping, which I'm very interested to get updates on Keenan, guys like that. But you started to see
Coach said Kendrick Law's got a lower body injury.
Yeah, they're probably banged up. I don't know that anybody's like seriously hurt. I know I saw when Coach was doing his post game. I saw Devontae Smith come up behind him and do the peace sign thing. So I think he's okay.
Was that Devontae that did that?
I think so. Was it?
Okay. Couldn't tell who it was.
I think that's who it was. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, guys, but I think that's who it was. But Max said, who's the best? Sark? Kiffin? I'm joking, man.
DeBoer.
I'm kidding.
Monty Kiffin?
Yeah,
I agree with kids. When you go into a prevent mindset, you are giving up game. You prevent victory when you go into a prevent mindset.
Coach not to lose mentality drives me nuts, and it's been proven wrong for 50 plus years in pro and college.
Oh yeah,
and the fear of giving up the big play over the top keeps these prevent mindsets in the mix. And
let's go to
Go ahead, Bill.
Let's go to the positives. All right, negative. We had 10 penalties for 90 yards.
Yeah, it wasn't a clean game. It was actually very sloppy.
Yeah, there's 7 points right there we gave up due to penalties. We had 5 more minutes of possession than Georgia.
Good.
But we created 4 turnovers.
I don't see how that's possible.
It was 32-27.
Phil, can I stop you on that turnover point? Because my biggest negative takeaway from this game, I just want to get it out there. We dropped 6 to 8 interceptions, and this is becoming a trend with these DBs. If 3 or 4 of those actually get picked, and I get it. It's a lot to ask a defense to pick somebody off 7 times in a game. But when the ball's hitting you right in the hands, over and over
had
again.
A couple. Deontay had a couple.
This doesn't happen. Them coming surging back doesn't happen if we keep picking it off. That was kind of frustrating.
We do not locate the football. We haven't done it forever. Even under the DB guru Saban, we do not locate the ball. Brown located it on the last play, and guess what? He high pointed it, picked it off, game over. But the play before that, he running with his back to the ball, and that's what they've been doing for years. And the ball will just be floating in the air, and they'll just be running. They won't even make an attempt to turn their head. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And another coach to stay in phase, but when the receiver's eyes get big and you see him leap up for the ball, then turn your head.
Put your hand up, turn around.
They just run through him.
Yeah.
Said the DBs are wide receivers that can't catch. That's fairly accurate. So
that's not wrong. Must have brick hands. He's dropped 3 walk-in pick sixes this year in 4 games.
That's okay, man. It's impacting the play. I do want to see the defense get better on 3rd and 4th down, because there's going to be other teams we play that kind of play the analytics game. Georgia had to, because they got so far behind so quickly, but that's one thing I hate, is having to play a team that always goes for it on 4th down on their side of the field. Ole Miss does that. Auburn does it a lot. I think Oklahoma does it a lot. So, but ultimately, coming down from the initial high of that interception by Xavier Brown, I'm ultimately very happy with what happened in the game.
Yeah.
Because even though it was, the score's not going to reflect it, but that was a pretty dominant win, at least for a half. There's a lot that they can still coach on moving into further SEC play. And coming off of that, my only hope is that the guys aren't like, okay, we beat Georgia, we're good, because they're going to jump up probably to number 2 tomorrow. That's a fear that I have, because these guys are very young and they're almost cocky in a way. It's different than what we used to.
Well, next up is Vanderbilt and Missouri. Vanderbilt's playing tough, and they may go in there and learn some lessons at Vandy. Missouri's going to come to town, and that's going to be an interesting game when Missouri comes into town.
Huh. Tim, I didn't really notice this. Yeah. I thought they tackled well in this game.
Well, they tackle high. We're tackling really high. I noticed that a lot of our gang tackles are even really high, which is why they grind out 3 or 4 more yards because
we're not wrapping those legs up
low. And even
we
on
wrap those legs.
Well, like the deep ball that we blew coverage, and Sab caught up to him and then tried to tackle him high.
Oh yeah, he kind of spun out of it. Yeah,
but I've noticed that this year, as fast as we're getting and swarming, we're tackling really, really high a lot of times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not a coach by any means, but
no. But you're right. I mean, if they are, you got to wrap some of these guys up. How did we do in terms of? I want to see what their rushing was. Georgia didn't rush the ball.
They killed us in the air. They just quit trying to run. They were killing us in the air. So they're like, wasn't even fool with trying to run the ball.
Yeah. Dude, they threw for 439 yards.
Yeah. And I think he had like 50 yards at halftime. I think Beck had 50 yards passing at halftime. Yeah. Which I think he threw for 400 yards in the second half.
That was all third and fourth quarter.
Tim agrees with you.
We said the other night they've got to establish the run and stop
Tim's
the
smart
run.
Guy.
We had 173 rushing. They had 80, and we created 4 turnovers. And there's your game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to win. You're not going to win in the Southeastern Conference when you turn the ball over that much. Auburn.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's we'll come back to Alabama, Georgia. 2 big losses in the SEC today. The first one obviously being Ole Miss. I've been saying everybody losing their mind over Ole Miss putting up 70 so points and this and that. They did that last year.
Kentucky shut them down.
Well, the minute they got in the SEC play, they struggled.
Yeah,
and that happened today.
10 points in Tuscaloosa last year.
Yeah, and they got beat, and that's going to be the story of Ole Miss again this year. It looks like they still have a very easy road to the playoffs, so that's still probably in their future. But man, how about Auburn in front of all those recruits? Deuce Knight, all these guys just crapping the bed.
Hey, you know what though? Maybe all those Auburn recruits watch that game and were like, "I can start right now on this team."
That's true.
And so they're probably more than likely like, we can walk on and already be on the one depth chart right now.
So Auburn should be 5-0.
Deuce Knight could probably start right now for that team. Although Peyton Thorne played pretty well to that last throw.
John, look, here's the thing, dude. It is a problem, but what I encourage you to think about, and we've seen this before. We've seen it one time playing Clemson in a natty. We've seen it in regular season. We saw it last year in the loss to Texas. When the offense is constantly sluggish and going 3 and out, and that defense is on that field, they get gassed, and that's what was happening to Georgia's defense in the first half. The offense couldn't do anything. The defense was just stuck on the field, and that's why it was so easy to score. So it's not entirely, So it's not entirely.
It was a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, it's not entirely on Womack. Some of it is that the offense has to sustain and produce movement so that the defense has time to relax, man. I'm not saying that this defense doesn't have problems. We are a very young secondary. There were some busts, and Carson Beck took advantage of them in the second half. We were worried about that. We said it. We thought it was going to happen. But ultimately, the offense did what we thought it could do and scored enough points to where it didn't matter. Now if that time of possession changes, one or two of those picks don't happen, we could be having a different show right now. But that's not the case. That's not what happened. So
breaking. Hayes Fawcett says Duke Johnson has shut down recruiting and says, I found my home in Tuscaloosa. No.
Oh, well, we knew he was already committed, bro.
He said he ain't looking nowhere else.
How
Bill,
many
you need to refresh your Twitter feed. That's probably from like 4 months ago.
How many?
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, it was.
Sorry. Hey, we landed on the moon.
You had 100 plus
we did
recruits.
It.
You had 100 plus recruits in attendance for this game. How many of those guys over the next few days announce a commitment to Alabama?
You know what was funny about that is I saw a list of like the 26 recruits that were there, and it was like crazy. 11 5-stars.
Yeah, it's
like,
wild.
Good Lord.
It's wild. Like they've still got the few of their 2025 targets, but they're really starting to pick up the momentum on the 2026 class.
Yeah.
They're trying to get a safety, so they're bringing Anquan Fagans, which we told you guys. We told you guys when he committed to Auburn that like his recruitment's not done. And then they're working on, his name's Ivan Taylor, 4-star safety, who's currently committed to Michigan. Of course, everybody knows about Justice Terry. We'll see what happens there. I don't know that this game may impact. He wasn't there because they played their game today in high school, but he'll be at the Missouri game. So will Fagan. So we'll see. But it's going to be hard for Auburn to hold their class together, dude. Eric Smith was there tonight, or is it Derek Smith? I get they're brothers. I get them confused. Tell me in the chat. Anyway, let's go back to talking about this game and let's laugh. I think we earned the right to be a little cocky, and I'm going to tell you why.
I want to touch on this comment. Before
you
get into that.
Go ahead.
Pull up Patrick's comment.
Okay.
Because this is what I was when I sent this text was like I felt like I was watching the Hurts offense where it was runs to the right for little to no gain. The read options, he would never give the running back the ball, and he would keep it and take a 1 or 2 or no gain. And I felt like Milroe was getting into that tonight of not giving the running back the ball. Like he was keeping it himself a bunch. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what the running back carries were, but
and we were good at running the edge.
They weren't great.
We were good at running the edge, and we just didn't.
Bama rushed for 173 yards, and
117 of that was in the first half or something.
Yeah.
And how much of that was Milroe?
I'm looking. Hold on. Give me a second.
Hold
on, fellas.
He had 117.
What's wrong with this? 117
of the 173. So the other guys had.
Oh yeah, they rushed for 173. Miller runs for 172. So that's something I would like to see change too, because I'm a big on recruiting. If I'm a running back and that is a consistent thing, that's kind of like I don't know, but
But Justice had 6 runs for 35 yards. That was the best running back.
What's up, Hawaiian Rolls? If you're out there still, tell everybody to lock in with us. Like, hey, check these dudes out. Subscribe. Tell them. If you're not subscribed, do the same thing. I love your username, by the way. Hawaiian rolls are the best rolls.
They're awesome.
Anyway,
have you ever had their tortillas?
No, I haven't, but that sounds amazing.
I bet Mr. Portal has.
Those Hawaiian tortillas are amazing.
This is a good question. We kind of hit on this a little bit. I think it's an
excellent question.
Both.
Solid combination of both. I think. Look,
love the picture.
Georgia. Yeah, Georgia is the best second half team in the country. They have been for a couple of years. Kirby Smart's very good. I'm not going to take anything away from the Bulldogs. Kirby Smart is very good at going into the second half and tweaking what needs to be tweaked. Some of it was that, but some of it was that we took our foot off the gas. You could look at the play calling, because I'll tell you that first half, man, them saying like we haven't shown all of our offensive and defensive playbooks, that showed up in the first half. I saw stuff that I haven't seen Bama do ever, and I'm not talking about the trick play stuff. So
no, it was just the pace and the consistency. Nothing tricky, nothing weird, and the defense didn't go crazy tonight.
Well, you know what else? You know what else, Bill, is this is why I was thinking about this as well, is that the offense was on the sideline for so long. For a couple of those drives, there were multiple 15-plus play drives that I almost like they got out of rhythm, like they got out of their timing, that they got out of their flow.
Yes.
Because Georgia had a 17-play drive and then a 15-play drive and then a 6-minute drive.
We saw that with South
on the
Florida.
field, and it's 2 Milroe runs and a bad throw, and we punt. And then Georgia's on the field for another 13 plays.
Yeah, our guys need to our offense thrives when they're just constantly on the field.
Yeah. I thought the offensive line played really well tonight.
Oh, they played out. They played lights out.
Gave a few pressures, but overall, I mean, for the
Milroe got sacked one time?
Yeah,
how many
he
times
got pressured a few times, but that's you expect that every game you're going to get pressured. But I thought the offensive line really played well. I thought Brailsford, I was really watching him because this was the first time he's ever faced anything like this. All of Michigan last year, but that defensive line of Michigan whipped everyone, including us.
Milroe wasn't sacked at all.
I don't hold that against him.
Are you sure about that?
He got hit a couple of times. I don't think he got sacked.
He got hit. Okay. And he got tackled, but he did not get.
He got
sacked.
several pressures.
Yeah, Georgia did really well on fourth down, K-Spray. Some of that's attributed to just analytics, and then the other being that Bama's defense was freaking gassed. Not excusing it, but you know that's just something to take into account when your offense is sputtering.
They were 5 for 5 on fourth down.
Okay, Milroe needs to be on this.
Wild to me.
100 miles per hour. Oh yeah. Here's the thing, guys. Like, so we beat, and I know a lot of people for whatever reason after today's game. If you're not sold on Jalen Milroe, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what else he has to do.
But I'll say this: if you even take his passing out of the equation, which he is a solid passer, he's gotten much better.
Yes,
he missed a couple of throws today. I think he gets a little amped up sometimes. You know, he had one throw. I think it was a Kendrick Law in the backfield at the very start of the game. It was a terrible throw, loss of yards. But
the throw to Dupree that got picked was a bad throw, and then
that was
tipped it up. Yeah. Bad luck.
He only had
that was
5,
probably his worst throw.
He only had 5 non-completions, 4 incompletes and 1 pick.
Yeah, the throw to Jam on that wheel route was the throw of the year.
Dude, that was beautiful.
Yes.
That was
If you think Jalen Milroe hasn't progressed as a passer, you don't know football.
He wouldn't have made.
You know nothing about the sport because that was an NFL throw. And I look, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, like, for those of you who don't like Jalen Milroe, first and foremost, we beat Georgia last year and this year because of Jalen Milroe. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Secondly, Jalen Milroe, you better believe the minute people heard about Nick Saban retiring, you better believe that dude was getting phone calls and offers from all over the country. And what did he do? He stayed.
Oh, yeah.
He stayed.
He's the reason a lot of those guys stayed as well.
Yes. Coach
said that. Coach said that Wednesday night. He said it was Booker and Milroe were the reason a lot of guys stayed.
Yeah, I know, and I know why they do, and I hate that. I hate that that's still a thing, but he's my quarterback. That dude, I'll take him. I'll go ahead and tell you this: if he continues to do what he did today, he's going to win a Heisman Trophy. He's going to be Kalen DeBoer's first Heisman Trophy winner, and Alabama's going to compete for a national championship.
Who are you taking in the SEC over him? Besides Quinn Ewers, maybe Quinn Ewers.
No. Quinn Ewers isn't good. He can't run to beat Georgia like that. That's what makes again. Jalen Milroe was able to beat Georgia. Jalen Milroe beat Georgia last year. He beat him this year because he's a dual threat quarterback. He's the best dual threat quarterback in the country. Dude, that one first down run. I can't remember what the yardage was, but to pick up the sticks. But he literally takes off, starts going this way, and then outruns an entire defense laterally.
Yeah,
and turns up the field for like 5 or 6 yards for first down. There's not a lot of people that can do that. He's Lamar Jackson. If Lamar Jackson could throw, I said what I said.
And when I told y'all,
I said what
yes, sir, Eric. Yes, sir.
When he was a freshman, the word inside the football building was, this guy reminded everybody of a young Lamar.
We won't jump.
No, we won't jump to number 2. We won't jump Texas. We'll jump to number 2. That's fine. You don't want this team jumping to number 1.
No. I didn't take 3.
Young.
Let Ohio State have number 2.
Yeah, they're way too young. You don't want that high. Now, if if Texas has a bad showing and Alabama goes out and destroys Missouri or Tennessee in Knoxville, then yeah, they may jump them up, but it doesn't matter.
Tennessee's got me scared.
Although Texas had their hands full with Mississippi State.
Oh, they did. Yeah, that score did not reflect.
That score was not reflective of how close that game was. And the greatest of all time ever in the history of ever, Arch Manning, he's looked very pedestrian for the 2 starts he's had.
Yeah. This is a great comment, Kat. And because that first half, I made a phone call and we talked about a lot about who's the best team in the country. And you could kind of make an argument for different people week to week. But if Alabama plays ball like they did in that first half, they're by far the best team in the country. Now what happens when people start to figure out Caleb DeBoer's offense and they're able to actually game plan? It's on tape now. They're able to actually game plan. We need to see this coaching staff make those minor adjustments. But and again, that goes back to not being so conservative like they were in the second half. But somebody we haven't really touched on a lot is Ryan Williams. I love the kid. Absolutely adore the kid. But I was kind of slow to get on the hype train because really, who has he played? Now I'll say Wisconsin proved to me today in their loss to USC that they actually have a really good defense. So what happened up at Wisconsin wasn't a fluke, but Ryan Williams torched Georgia today.
He did.
Not only
6 catches, 177.
It wasn't like he was catching open balls. He was catching in traffic and making moves and getting extra yards. He was going up and catching the ball over people and then hitting the ground and not just going to the ground. He was hitting the ground and he was, oopty-looping one way and this way and trying to get
that
extra
touchdown
yards. And then the touchdown, they had no shot.
He left.
The fact that he makes that catch,
4 guys.
And look, for me, and I yell at running backs for doing this shit. Oh, excuse me, this stuff all the time. Where they want to, instead of just getting upfield north and south, they want to make cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ryan Williams has this ability to just stop and then just go and make people miss.
His dead leg is thick.
Dude, it reminds me of Trent Richardson. Remember that Ole Miss play, that legendary?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of that.
But with speed and grace.
Quicker.
Yeah. I mean, the kid is phenomenal. There's a part of me that's still so worried he's going to get hurt.
When he's back there returning punts and kicks, I'm like,
I was like, no, get him out.
I want to put him.
The Jalen Waddle film, you mother.
I want to put him in a.
Hold on. We got a hot take here by Miles. Okay, Miles. He says, say it right now. I've been watching Bama since 73. Ryan Williams is the greatest wide receiver. Good Lord. Somebody else read that. I'm struggling.
He will be the greatest receiver ever at Bama.
That's a big statement.
You can make an argument.
That's a big statement.
He's already said
Yeah.
Smitty is his GOAT, and he's aiming for him. He told Smitty on the show, looked right at the camera and said, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this.
Is he a little bit bigger than Smitty?
He looks big at 175.
And they'll continue to put a little bit of size
Smitty
on.
was like, what, 125 when he's
he stayed
150
small
catches?
too. Like he never like beefed up, he stayed small. But chat,
Slim Reaper.
Jeff, Bill, I'd love to get your thoughts on this. We all know, if you watch football, college football on a Saturday, other games, you're going to constantly hear Alabama transfer. We lost so much offensive talent. How do we have these weapons that we have? We're talking about K-Wall over here. Dude, Alabama is rich in the sense of playmakers. These skill positions, and they shouldn't be, but they are. And that is devastating. Again, imagine being an Auburn fan having to watch that today. Because not only do you want Alabama to lose because you lost, then you realize I got to go play a Georgia team next week that just lost to Alabama in the way they did.
Georgia,
that talent, man.
They're going to hurt. They're going to hurt Auburn. Yeah, the talent. That's recruiting and coaching.
Yeah.
There was a stable of talent there, and then they went out and augmented with recruiting and portal. And these coaches, these coaches are legit.
All of them.
Everyone. Hey, look,
everyone, Cat.
Speaking of transfers, hear me out on this. Now I know Isaiah Bond got a bag from Texas to go to Texas, and you can't blame a wide receiver for wanting to go play in Sark's offense with a finely polished throwing quarterback. So I understand all those things, but somewhere inside of Isaiah Bond's head, did he see Ryan Williams and go like he's going to take my job by the third game? So.
Maybe not. Because
did y'all hear
not in the forefront, but maybe in the back of his mind, he saw tape of this kid and was like, "Okay, I'm going to lose."
What did y'all hear? What the announcer said?
Potentially
after like the 7th practice.
That's what I'm going with.
After like the 7th practice, Milroe went to the coaches and said he doesn't need to be on third team; he needs to be on the first team.
Yeah.
I heard him to start. I remember that.
Coach, what are we doing? Why is this kid on third team?
Why is this guy a backup to a backup? He needs to be up front.
Yes, I agree, Chris.
This is
Chris,
good coaching,
good
recruiting. I love it.
Yeah.
Chris is laid up in bed with some honey, I'm sure.
Jack Daniels and some honey.
I don't know that Roydell Williams is, Max, just because he's the only transfer to Florida State that actually kind of made sense.
He was going to be the 4th on the depth chart this year.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, a guy like Malik Benson probably is kicking himself in the ass.
And Isaiah Bond.
Roll Tide Link.
Bond's on the number 1 team in the country. Why would he be regretting his decision,
he's fine.
Bill?
Homie's driving a Lambo.
He's the leading receiver on the number 1 team in the country. I think he's fine.
Okay. While Bill is saying stupid shit, let's do me a favor, guys. Y'all do the thing. Like this video, heart it, do all the reaction stuff. Just spam the like. Just spam.
Dude, Chris, if you're on the bus,
Brian
Denny, jump in here live and we'll put you on for 2 seconds.
Yeah, if you're still there on the fly,
we just want to hear it and see it.
Just hold your phone up like this, and we'll put you in.
Holler at us. But
sorry, Michael, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
No,
I just saw that.
There's 240 of you. Later on in the season, we may be doing a giveaway. Actually, I'm going to stick with my giveaway for 2 more weeks. If we can hit 2.7K live viewers, and we've done this before, so it's not unobtainable. I'm gonna get somebody some Iron Bowl tickets. Jeff doesn't know it, but he's paying for them. And so,
oh yeah, all those tickets we've promised this year. I'll pay for these. Sure.
Hey, look, for all of y'all, Kalen DeBoer, I would love to have them at 1, but I don't think we really want them at 1 right now.
Too young. We're too young to have them ranked.
They're young.
2 or 3.
They're young. There's a lot of stuff coming out of this game that we've got to work on and get better at.
Yeah,
let's just focus on that. Look, being number 1 in this country doesn't mean anything anymore. It means absolutely.
I forgot. We go to Vandy next week. Then we're hosting South Carolina and then Missouri. I forgot about South Carolina.
That's going to be
an 11 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, that's not going to be an easy game, but
here's 11 a.m. for South Carolina.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I've learned about Alabama today, and I think we've all kind of known this. But if Alabama's slicking, right? If Alabama is not holding itself back, if the coordinators are not, putting the leash on them, they can outscore anybody in the country. We know they're explosive, but you also saw them sustain drives in that first half, move the ball. They did it a little bit in the second half, but it wasn't ending in points, which is a problem. But even if Alabama gets in a shootout, I feel comfortable. Look, after Georgia went on top, I was like, oh crap, that's it. We just lost. There's no way we haven't been able to move the ball second half. They've got us figured out. And then boom.
And then Hollywood plays.
Ryan freaking Williams, man. I don't know.
That was nuts. I still can't believe.
Ryan, I apologize for doubting him.
How in the world did he do that?
I
don't know how you never doubt him.
For doubting Ryan Williams.
You know what?
It could be.
Start that over.
Oh yeah.
What would you just say? Look at the camera and repeat that.
Ryan Hollywood Williams, Deuce. I apologize that I did not think that you would do the ridiculous thing that you did when Georgia went up and score our final touchdown of the game. And sir, for that, I will purchase a Ryan Williams jersey so that I can match with Jeff on game day. But I'm gonna get a white one because who doesn't like the whites, the frosty whites? You know what I'm saying? With the crimson.
White
Ryan, I'm sorry.
The crimson numerals.
Don't block me on socials.
Don't block me on socials.
But now we need to take Hollywood off the punt and kick team unless we're putting him back there in a Hannibal Lecter cage.
I agree. Hold on. Just a second.
Forever.
Yeah, Coach. Hey man,
that got me Jalen Waddle flashbacks.
I got Bill and Jeff here, and they want Hollywood off of kick returns
Forever.
Can we make that happen?
Yes. Yes.
Put Emmanuel Henderson in there.
Yes.
He told me if I call him again, he's contacting the police.
That's fine. Just don't put Ryan Williams at kick returner.
Yeah. Call the police. Yeah. Just listen to what we're saying, okay?
Please.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
And by the way, learn a lesson tonight. This is the SEC. This ain't the Pac-12. You don't take the foot off the gas.
No, they figured that out. I'm pretty sure. I will say I don't
figure that out in the third quarter. Like shit.
Outside of potentially bumping into Texas in the SEC championship game, I don't see another SEC team that's going to be able to score like that.
Tennessee.
Okay. I think Tennessee is very good offensively. But
the blueprint's out on them too.
I need to see Tennessee. They Tennessee.
Did beat off today, so they're good. They're good.
Damn.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all Thursday.
Yeah, we're getting.
I've been wanting to use that joke for 10 years.
I just got an email from YouTube. Get that geezer off your show. No, I'm just kidding. That was good, Bill. I appreciate the joke. I'm not saying Tennessee's not good. They're very good, but we'll see.
I think Nico is a far better quarterback than Beck. Now, how far?
Although Beck's highly more experienced.
Yeah,
that showed.
Yes.
That showed tonight.
Yeah, that's what makes Beck dangerous. Again, if you give Beck a clean pocket, he's an NFL quarterback. If you pressure him, he's not. And you saw that all night.
But I'll give Beck this. He never panicked. He didn't look.
No, he didn't.
He didn't look disheveled on the turnovers in the early deficit. He didn't look like he just was dumbfounded. He stayed poised. He stayed calm. He stayed in there. They gave him a clean pocket the second half, and he made the throws. So I'll give him that. But when you get in his face, you've been saying it, Michael. When you grill him, he folds, and he was folding a lot early. And then when we stopped getting pressure, he was just picking us off.
Yeah,
he had a couple bad throws on that last drive. Before the pick, he had a couple of really bad throws, and that's because we started getting a little pressure.
You made a great coverage. When you're like, there are about 8 passes that could have been picked tonight. The dude could have had 8 picks tonight, easy.
Yeah,
he could have looked like Peyton Thorne all night. But
I mean, he could have thrown 8 interceptions tonight if we snag every one we could have. He would have had 8 picks.
I will say, I know that the instant overreaction is. First of all, of course, everybody's happy that our brand new head coach with this brand new style offense just beat Georgia. But when you wake up tomorrow, the talk is going to be, well, is the defense suspect? I definitely encourage everybody to kind of pump the brakes on that a little bit, just because, again, I don't think it's one. Dude, if you go back and watch this defense, laterally, it's the fastest defense I've watched in the country so far. These cornerbacks are young, but they are locks. Yes, there are some busts, just like there are with every defense, every game. Georgia busted a couple of times. Yeah. But ultimately, what you saw in them getting exposed in the second half is just them being gassed. And I know that that's not necessarily an excuse that you're going to accept as fans, because adversity, play through it. That's different. When you're a defensive player, you're reactionary, right? The offensive player knows what they're going to do. You have to react to it. That is very exhausting. And so when their offense is not helping you out, they're not sustaining drives, you're over on the sideline for 2 minutes sucking wind, you're not getting any, you barely get fluids in you. You're gonna get torched, and that's what happened in that second half. So,
Yeah.
but
again, it goes back to the coaches had to learn tonight about tempo and pace in the Southeastern Conference.
He called him
They just did.
I mean, God, when they were snapping the ball with 22 seconds left on the play clock,
that was frustrating.
I'm just like, I don't mean to go down to one and take knees, but I'm just like, 20 seconds, really?
This is a good question, Keith. I don't think
Great
so.
question.
I don't think so right now. I'm definitely interested to see what these injuries are because the majority of them were to defensive guys. If we start dropping guys out for the season, it's definitely going to be a problem. The secondary specifically, we're not super deep there. We're pretty deep on the defensive line, but we're losing a lot of those guys after this season. So, locked Mill. Like right. 2 weeks before. You did lock him in? Okay. All right. He locked him in for 8 plus 18.
That'll work.
Yeah.
That's
good luck.
That's good.
I think he's got just as good a chance. He's going to be the favorite after this week. But keep in mind, Carson Beck's still going to be
special.
Carson Beck games. I'm hoping that they stop talking about Jackson Dart now.
Why would they? Why did they even start? I don't understand why they even started.
He was the favorite. He was the favorite going into this weekend. Yeah, but he was the betting favorite.
What?
Because they're putting up 70 points on Furman and Wake Forest.
Well, they didn't put up. They didn't.
No, they run into Kentucky. Like I can't stand that. That's why I don't have a lot of respect for Lincoln Riley and his, 3 Heisman Trophy winners because he did it in conferences that don't play defense.
It's still the greatest robbery ever was 18, but.
Take that over to the SEC and see what happens. You won't have.
He had the chance and he ran.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He knew what was coming and he hightailed it to the to USC. So.
And I know everybody's going to point to that LSU game at the beginning of the season. Well, dude, LSU ain't it this year. They're not.
No.
But
they're average.
So Auburn lost again. What happens with Auburn, guys? Are they going to be bowl eligible? What's going on?
They should be 5-0 going to Georgia, and now they're going to be 2-4 when they leave Georgia. A good friend of mine, who's got connections at Auburn, he said Hugh is one game away from completely losing the locker room. And I didn't listen to his post-game conference, don't care, but I'm sure he threw everybody under the bus except himself.
Yeah,
and so it's a mess. It is a mess over there, and they are going to they're going to wish they had Gus back.
Oh man,
I don't know. I don't know how long of a leash they'll give him. The situation Hugh Freeze took over might have been the worst ever.
Disaster.
Yeah. So I don't know how much leeway they're going to give him. Now he's not doing himself favors by speaking publicly ever.
But they've declined since last year.
Yeah. I mean, but there's not. But that's on him now. I don't know if they're like just get through this year and then we have an answer at quarterback for the next couple of years. I don't know what their plan
now
quarterback is.
Did Hugh Freeze personally break the voodoo of Jordan Hare? Because they've looked like doo-doo.
I mean, they've lost. The voodoo really only pops out against Georgia and Alabama. Really, Alabama.
Yeah. It tried to bail them out today, but it didn't. There wasn't.
And the refs.
Jason sacrificed one chicken instead of two. And so, all right. Hold on. I got a question here. We kind of already touched on this, but because people love it so much, we'll touch in. What do we think about recruits watching this? Duke Johnson shut down his commitment.
They're thrilled.
3 or 4 flips. I don't know about 3 or 4 flips, but there's still some high value guys out there. Justice Terry, obviously being the biggest one, but I don't know if you're aware, but Justice Terry wasn't at the game. He had his high school game was moved to Saturday because of the hurricane, so he's going to come to the Michigan game. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more guys who are committed to other places come to Tuscaloosa because I haven't seen this in a long time. That atmosphere there, the entire game was off the charts. I mean,
it was.
That touchdown that put Alabama back in the lead by Hollywood Williams. The top came off of the place, and then you had a lot of
fans
people there.
The fans never got complacent. the coaches got complacent in the third quarter, but the fans did not. And,
I'm not putting that comment up here, Keith.
Oh man, Keith.
Little ditty joke.
But it's yeah, that place was right. You could feel it shaking through the walls I'm 200 miles away and I could feel it.
Yeah, it was nice to see Bryant Denny rocking that way. But hey, I think Alabama's in a great place, man. You just beat
Absolutely.
Georgia, who was the preseason #1 team coming into this. You just snapped their regular season winning streak, which was at like 50-something games, right?
49,
it was up,
something like
51.
that. 49.
Yeah, you just snapped that.
Yeah,
everybody.
Every winning streak Georgia has, Bama breaks it.
Yeah, I know it's sad, dude. I can't imagine being dude. Georgia fans have to hate us. I mean, they cannot beat Alabama, a full strength Alabama. It's crazy. But here's what happened tonight. I want to, before we end, my final thoughts, if you will. Kalen DeBoer, a brand new head coach, along with guys like Courtney Morgan, bring in hundreds of recruits that you saw. You've seen the news all week, the talent that and the people, the names that were ascending on Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
Kalen DeBoer comes in with everybody chirping that Alabama's going to be a 7-5 team. They're not going to be the same without Nick Saban. The dynasty's dead. Kirby couldn't beat Nick Saban, not Alabama. He just shut it all up.
Yep.
Agreed.
He just shut it all up.
And these dummies that were saying that should be embarrassed. Why would you say that about a guy that was 104-12?
Because he's 104.
Well, he's going to take all Saban's talent and go 7-5. What?
Stupid, man. Stupid. And I did a video a few weeks before the season started. It's on the channel. You can go look it up. But I was talking about how what Alabama needed was an offensive infusion, so that they could continue to evolve with the game and maybe even take another offensive step higher than everybody else. And I think that they're on their way to doing that. And you saw it in that first half of the Georgia game. Even with the adjustments.
And we left enough.
Go ahead.
We made enough mistakes that this isn't where you can sit back and say, we've got it made. There's a lot of teaching points after this game. Coach Saban said the worst thing you can do is win ugly. Talked about Georgia when he said that, and we've seen that in the past with the Tide. You win ugly, you get complacent, and you lose. Yeah, it creates a loss. And all right, so this was a good win, established win. There was ugly enough in there that it can get fixed.
Yeah, no, I agree. But the bigger picture here is that Alabama just put the rest of the country on notice and told everybody we're still Alabama. The brand, I've been saying it, the brand is still lethal. Still lethal. Not only are we that, we're now a offensive powerhouse. We are dangerous offensively. And we've got a top 20 defense. That should scare everybody that's got to – everybody from now on, not named Georgia, that has to play Alabama is going to have that fear in their chest that Alabama used to invoke in people because of what just happened tonight.
All right, listen, this is crazy. DeBoer against Sark, 2-0. He's 2-0 against Lincoln. He's 3-0 against Riley, and he's 1-0 against Kirby.
Yeah,
line them up, he beats them.
Unreal is the perfect word. It's unreal.
I was screaming that last year when they were like, "Oh, they're going to hire Sark. Oh, it's Dan Lanning, blah blah blah." And I was like, DeBoer's never lost to either of these guys. He's 5-0 against both these guys. So if you don't get one of them, get the guy that's never lost to either one of them.
Yep. And he just
proved the right coach, and he's awesome.
I mean, he's whipped Lanning 3 times.
He also proved 2 things to me in this game. He can blow out one of the best teams in the country, and he can also outshoot one of the best teams in the country. Tell of 2 halves, right? Bill, that's what you said we should have called this. Tell of 2 halves. That's what you saw. He blew out one of the best teams, one of the best, if not the best, coaches, I think if we take our crimson off, we can admit that Kirby Smart is the best active coach in the country.
Absolutely.
He blew them out in the first half, and then when they let Georgia back in the game, they won the shootout. Man, that's insane. That is.
I didn't see panic from DeBoer at all.
No. Hey, something else we need to talk about. All you Alabama fans talking about, he needs to show more emotion and this and that on the sideline.
You saw it.
You saw it. You saw it. You got no excuse to be talking smack about King DeBoer anymore.
Bill, remember we talked about this when we get in SEC and Kalen gets a full game of SEC refs. You're gonna see that emotion spill. And
King Kalen's gonna show up
when he got bulldogged before the ball got there and no flag was thrown. I thought DeBoer was gonna fight somebody.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I said he's ready to punch somebody in the face.
Yeah, and he was still. He interviewed him in the locker room. Going into halftime, you could tell how pissed off he's still.
Oh yeah, his little interview. Yeah, he was mad.
Yeah, but he is the old. He's the mature old guy that doesn't blow his top easily, but when he does, you better watch out.
Yeah,
he's got that.
Happy.
No, you like that old guy that's in the bar when the fight starts, and he finally sets his beer down and just wipes everybody out.
Yeah. Because somebody bumped into him and he spilled his beer, so he's like, "All right."
And he's like, "Okay, now I'm going to murder everybody."
Anybody who is still on the fence about Alabama making the right decision with Kalen DeBoer,
please
sleep well tonight. They did.
Yeah. You're on the
Alabama's
fence.
in good hands. This man is going to win a lot. A lot.
Y'all, he's not even running his offense. He's running an offense tailor-made to the skill set of his quarterback.
Yeah, wait till he gets Keelan Russell in there.
Bingo.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to see a lot more next year when Ty's running it and Keelan Russell is backing him up.
Yeah.
But you're really going to see it in 26. Watch out for 2026 when Ryan Williams is a junior. Okay. And Latsier Brooks is on the team and Caleb Cunningham is on the team and probably Cam Coleman too.
I don't think Austin Mack's going to start.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to play much.
He will never play a meaningful snap.
I think Austin Mack was brought in to teach the offense to the other.
Absolutely. And as like an emergency third option if we ever got to that point. But I totally agree with you. I don't think he's ever going to take a meaningful snap.
I'll also keep in mind, like I know a lot of teams use this, but realistically, this is a rebuilding year for Alabama. It is.
Funny as that sounds.
It really is. And that's what you just got.
18 was supposed to be.
Yeah, most guys aren't expected to win a national title in a rebuilding year. But make no mistake, the expectation is a championship. This isn't like
it doesn't change.
Let's make the playoffs and a first-year coach. That's a good season. The expectation is to get to a game further than both DeBoer and Alabama got last year. Well, not a game further, but a win further.
Yeah, you may be right about Austin Mack.
It's coming.
It's coming. We'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. I'm going to have some video uploads coming tomorrow. Keep an eye out for shorts. As always, you guys know the drill.
Are we after dark on Wednesday?
Huh?
We after dark on Wednesday.
Yeah, Johnny Moneybags is going to be on the show to talk about NIL. Should be a lot of fun.
All right, here's a great locker room quote from CJ Dupree about Ryan Williams.
All right,
he said it's like watching us. He said it's like a simulation watching him play. He's great. If he had problems, he could take all my NL money. I'll give it to him. He can have all my money. This is the player right here.
All right, he's him.
He's him.
Yeah.
So, do us one last favor. Share. Hey, look, screen record the video. Put it on your social media. Tell people, hey, y'all need to check out these dudes. They know what they're talking about. They're smart. They're funny. And be it after dark on Wednesday night. It'll be at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, which is tough for me, but that's okay for the brand, right?
It'll be a fun one for the brand.
All right. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, show them UCF down or USF down, Bill. Oh, he did it with the other hand. Beat Auburn and Georgia and LSU and Tennessee too.
LSU too.
Roll Tide, guys.